Hello.
Yo, what's going on? Chat or future chat in a few seconds, few minutes. What's up,
I don't know if I
Sherman?
told you,
Watching
Ronte.
boss.
The shout out to our boy, the VOD King. I don't know if I told you last week. I actually found out a way to do 1080p on StreamYard. So I don't know if it's because I paid for that 1 month and then forgot to cancel it, so I'm paying for a second month.
Probably.
But yeah, I didn't think that was a part of the monthly subscription. I think it was just unlimited, but they must have changed some things.
September 15th, already midway through the month. In a few weeks,
Crazy.
we'll be into some a new anime and a returning one. Record 3 of Bleach.
I'm so excited for October.
As I've gotten older, I just think, I don't know, the fall time, that might be my favorite season now. It used to never been, but it's starting to now. At least for me.
I think I didn't really like it because it's always coincided with like back to school. But now that I'm like working all the time, it's just like I get to enjoy the weather.
Right. I think that's probably what it is too. Why I used to didn't like it. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
New.
On-screen chat.
Interesting.
Hello? Anybody home?
Not this time. That's on us. I didn't even do a community post for this, so it's just like if you're in our Discord, you knew.
Yo, Alvis, what's up? Hello, bad pipe. Undead Unluck pipe. Sundays always fun days, indeed. Go check out Twitchy's stream for One Piece a few days ago. We were discussing something. We were cooking.
Man, it was a fun discussion. Let me just say that. And if Oda's doing what we think he might be doing, woo, he's getting in his bag. Nostalgia bag.
In the anime, we just got the Sabo, Emu, Cobra, Gorosei stuff. Yeah, it's just hearing Emu's voice, the way that they're doing it. I like that they went down that direction. Make it ominous, make it creepy, make it ambiguous. Just keep it like that. It's good.
You know, it's funny, even with like how they've produced that particular voice in the anime, people are theory crafting based off of the filter that they had.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah,
they're saying like, oh, is it a robot? Is it like a parasite that took over a dead person, or like so on and so forth?
Right.
So Legolando.
Oda said, I gotta get every kind of setting in this manga. Lego. I would never have thought he would have done that. I mean, we did get toys before back in Dressrosa, but Lego.
Hey, Oda, his creativity has no bounds.
It's the OP community, not shocking. Yeah, it's not shocking at all. That's they be active, whether for better or for worse. The OP community, they are active on the TL.
But what happened last week in Undead Unluck?
What happened?
Okay, so flipped it around. So Andy finally took care of Ruin. Kind of sunned him a little bit, both literally and figuratively
Very
speaking.
much so.
And he essentially told him, I'm glad you're you, because I'm me. They're there. So on and so forth. And we get to see a very brief, ever so burning inquiry into his backstory. Looks like he was boiled on his face, this loop, by an adult figure. I like how they did not show the actual identity of the figure. Doesn't really matter. Narratively speaking, that's just supposed to represent the worst in humanity. So I'm glad that we got that ever so brief snapshot of his backstory. I'm sure we'll get more, but
for sure. And even sunned the the Umas that were with him, Shadow and Blood. They were like, okay, all right, yeah, we'll go with him. And he's going to, I guess, rehabilitate because they shot their souls or essence or part of their souls into him. So
Yeah.
even though Andy was like, oh, it's just, what he called it? I think he called it something loop. The name of the attack was some like bad loop. I think that's what it was called.
Bad loop.
But yeah, I think either Andy and Fuko will like their clone soul extension, whatever essence of them is going to talk to him, or something's going to resonate with him, where he's going to be like, I kind of spit it. Not gonna lie, I kind of spit it, but we just got to see it for ourselves. Wherever Tezuka's cooking with him, I think they're cooking.
What do you think the aspect of the soul combo attack is going to look like? Is it going to be they're going to show memories to Ruin? Are they going to talk to him in soul form? Are they going to allow him to connect to the memories of the world, kind of similar to an artifact? What do you think that's going to look like?
I really don't know, because it could be similar to the whole Soul Calibur thing back in season 1.
Yeah.
But I feel like Suzuka will probably go a different route, not necessarily do the same thing, but do something similar. So I think it might be like a memories thing, but like what you said with the artifact, when you touch the artifact and they can give you memories, something like that. And
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool if he like showed him humanity, like if they showed him humanity, like
Oh, the good
all
sides.
yeah, and then we can even, us as readers can get like new panels and moments of like Fuko and Andy just casually interacting with random people in their lives at some point, or like stuff
Okay.
like that, just to give us something and to give Ruin like another perspective on humanity. I think that'd be pretty cool. I wonder if he will get into his predecessors when it comes to the Ruin negator ability.
I think it depends. I saw a really cool theory that Ruin was going to eventually become the quote-unquote healer of the party, because we, up until this point, don't have a healer. Nico obviously has the tech to where he can give them prosthetics, he can give them, kind of power-ups. There's been artifacts imbued in people's bodies, similar to like androids, but never really like a biological healer.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Because think about it. Just think of the irony of Ruin, even though his ability is unruined. So, like, in itself, that I felt like this all the time. Like, his even like just unruined negator ability is kind of strange, because technically speaking, unruined would mean to like not ruin something, or like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like negate.
yeah.
So, I guess in itself, that negator ability was kind of foreshadowed. So when he does align himself with the Union, like you said, he'll probably be the healer, which he will negate the ruining, the damages, the injuries of people. So that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Fair
And
enough.
even with Shadow and Blood, I'm sure there's something that they would do that can help too. Like maybe, trying to think blood. Like, can you do like a blood transfusion with blood, or would that not work? I mean, I guess it would work, because blood is they do work with Ruin, with his body. So
yeah,
maybe that something like that can work too for other characters.
I can see it.
But I do want to know how Suzuka is going to get us from point. I say we're like at point B right now, from point B to point C with Ruin, because what would it take him to actually want to like align with us?
See, that's going to be tough, because we're talking about fundamentally changing a person's viewpoint on the world. That's not done in one instance. And I think he's kind of planting the seed with the soul bad loop attack, to where it is going to be kind of like a collage of different events or different reasons why he should join the team, or at least he should, disavow the whole Sun team. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Gavin.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, it's kind of tough, because and we've had this conversation as well, I feel like most people can change, but the threshold to change is very high.
I mean, it's one of those things where with his character, since we're going into the final stretch, I think it will be kind of rushed. Not gonna lie, if he does flip over.
Okay.
Is it bad? I wouldn't say it's bad, but I still think even if you are rushing it, you have to give us a really good reason as to why he's like, y'all kind of spitting. I'm gonna join with you guys. So.
And I don't even think it has to be like a full, oh, we're buddy now. He just has to show up in the final war and not be on their side.
Right. And then it's like, because my thing is, I wanted to, me personally, I wanted to get to a point where he's like, remember I said before how I don't want him to just simply switch sides or be an adversary of God just because God, I don't know, disrespected him or didn't care about him, neglected him or something like that. Because then that's just like, it's a cycle. Because at that point, that would mean that he would be against both God and the Union. But what are you going to do? You're a one-man army with some accessories. I don't know why I call them accessories, but rules. My bad, Shadow.
Damn.
I don't disrespect y'all like that. But
Damn.
like, you in one army, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah,
he does have to completely pick a side in the end. He can stay on that side, but I don't think that's likely because of what Andy was saying in the last chapter. So we'll see. But I hope he cooks really well with him.
I think I'll like it.
All right, ready to hop into it? I think you're first this week.
Yep. So, guys, if you are new here, just another quick recap. I am going to react solo blindly to the chapter. Vontae's going to get out of here in a sec. He's going to turn off his camera, turn off his mic. And then once we finish up with my side, that's when we are going to bring him back in for his own blind reaction, since this is a dual reaction channel. If you guys have not already, make sure you join our Discord. I'll try to pull that up really quickly here. But the reason why you want to do that is because the reason for the somewhat later start today, only 5 minutes, so not the worst in the world, but my internet, not the greatest. So I need to be made aware whenever I stop, recording for everyone. But there is the link to the Discord in the chat if you'd like to join. Talk with us offline, outside of the live streams. But let's waste no more time and get into chapter 222. Okay, October 31st, 2015. Nervous? No. I'm just excited. Been waiting 4.6 billion years for this moment. Speed run. Sorry to keep you waiting, you bunch of lugs. They're all just kind of staring at him. This is sick. Wicked. He's like, what is going on with the Union Roundtable? There's like 30 seats. So we're reintroducing Andy. All right. So that guy is really Fuko's, her boyfriend, apparently. I like the sound of his heart. It's a great line. Well done, Billy. Void's kind of off pain a little bit. Top staring at him. I sure would like to spar with him, says Shen. You mustn't. Creed just kind of looking on. Hush. The heck? Awful quiet. Well, the majority of them only know you as the guy who showed up out of the blue, buck naked at the hospital. Was that? Wait, you haven't used Remember yet? What kind of self-imposed challenge are you playing here? I understand how you feel, but if you were in my shoes, you would have done the same thing, right? Actually, I would have used it around Billy. He's a pain in the ass to deal with. What? Hey, you. Hurry and sit down. Jeez, you ought to be grateful, Gina, the boss's right-hand number 2 woman. is handing over her seat to you, after all. Are you sure, Gina? Yep, I do know a thing or two. Flashing back to her Soul Calibur days at the beginning of this loop about how much you propped up the boss in the past. Go ahead. All right, love this panel. I'm just looking down at the number 2. The katana gets thrown over to him by Yusai. Thanks. Then I'll start by introducing myself. I'm the Union's second seat, Undead. You can call me Andy. Nice to meet ya. Why'd you stick it in there as he puts it between his shoulder blades? Boy, these reactions are refreshing, says Fuko. Is this farce over? Oh, hey, what up, bookie? Time to announce the results, rookie. Long time no see, Oppo. All successful. Now granting rewards. Capture of Uma Burn. Successful. Participants, Engine, Tella, Creed. Capture of Uma Summer. Successful. Participants, Shen, Phil, Void, Yusai. Kind of disappointed we didn't at least get at least a panel or two out of either one of those 2 quests. I'm sure Tozuka will fill us in. It's not the most important thing since it was happening simultaneously with fighting Ruin. Little disappointed, not gonna lie though. Neutralization of Uma Beast. Successful. Participants, Fuko, Top, Ishin. Neutralization of Uma Language. Successful. Where's Fang? Not a clue. Participants, Nico, Ichiko, Fang. And also it looks like Top is sitting in Ishin's lap. Adorable. Addition of 4 seats. Location of the reward artifact is here. Location of the reward artifact? What was that again? What a grand sight. I'm impressed. This is all thanks to not only Miss Juiz and everyone else, but you, Andy. Thank you. And a job well done. We're both in the same boat, yeah? Let's just move past it. Fool. This is where your cocky ways come to an end. What's that? The stage will not be the same going forward. There will be quests in 3 months. All right, so training arc, here we come. From here on out, the entities you've been holding back all this time, the 8 master roles, will be waiting. You can't defeat them now that you're devoid of injustice. Bruh, she's sitting right there. All it takes is for her power to manifest. What is he talking about? The remaining 8 won't be as easy as Beast or Language. You basically have 3 months till the end of the world. Spend that time wisely. Okay, looks over at Juiz, or Julia, sorry. 3 months. That's all the time we have before we fight those guys again? So her ability hasn't manifested yet? I've been observing her for a month, and nothing's happened. I'm sure the trigger is Mr. Victor. There's no direct link between Julia and Mr. Victor. Even if Victor were to appear, I'm certain the tragedy wouldn't occur. The most that Julia could gain from using Remember is Miss Juiz's combat prowess. Injustice won't form in her. It came true. Mr. Victor's wish to have her forget who she was and lead a normal life without turning into a negator. If I used Remember, then Miss Juiz would try to fight, even if she didn't have injustice. So I think we should fight without relying on Remember or injustice. All right. Before I go any further, this was another speculation that we had in last week's discussion as it relates to Fuko not using Remember specifically. Outside of combat upgrades, I don't know if it would be best to reintroduce all that trauma from the 99 past loops into the Union. They seem to be very, together at this moment. But if her power does manifest specifically with Remember, Fuko doesn't want to use it and then it's being used, I could also see that happening. So let's just continue. Quit it with the downer comments, huh? all these guys in front of you are just filler for Injustice? What have you been assembling these guys for over the past 200 years? Why do you think they're all here right now? I know why everyone is here. We are here, Miss Fuko, because we want to fight with you. Please give me a little more time for my powers to manifest. If it doesn't work, then using Remember, I'll stand beside the past me who I idolize so much and fight alongside everyone else. Okay, thank you. All right, all members, we need to retrieve the reward artifact, ASAP. For the next 3 months until the quests start, 2 people will take shifts sticking to Julia in case Injustice manifest. The remaining members will take any intel Andy has hold. The remaining members will take any intel Andy has and hold an anti-master role strategy meeting to beep 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 beep. Ah, sorry, that's my alarm. That's odd. I had it set for 6 in the morning. Now, as I was saying, beep 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 beep. Oh, we're skipping forward in time? It is Uma time. Huh? Is it broken? No, that's not it. Time is accelerating? What? 3 months skipped. Oh, you. Open the quest. Oh, Apocalypse. What? It hasn't even been a day. It's huge. Ha, no prep time, eh? You're that afraid of Injustice, Soul? Fine. Starting now, we're officially on a speed run. Get it? I also don't know how I feel about this. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, as Andy said, but I would have wanted a soul training arc. So they're going to be doing all this training on the fly. They're not using Remember. And this also makes me think that like Tozuka is doing a speed run to the end of the series. Interesting. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Jenny, good evening or good morning, depending on your time zone. Is my mic still good? Hopefully it is. I had that whole chapter going through. I don't see any messages, so hopefully it was just for a second or two. Okay, so my interpretation of these last few pages is that Soul intervened with Apocalypse, causing him to move on to the next phase of his development. And then, I know he is technically an artifact, but just like the influence of God. And then it skipped the 3 months that they had of prep time. All right, well, I don't really have... Can hear me, but my mic is crackling. Well, that's not good. I haven't changed anything. Maybe it's just this week's connection, not that great. I haven't really changed anything as far as I can tell, so I apologize for that, guys. But what are we gonna do? Anything else you want to talk about with me before I get Vontae in here? Pretty straightforward. I think this discussion is going to be interesting, let's just say. All right, so I just sent him a message. Hopefully he will arrive momentarily. And then once he comes back, I will hop out of the studio for a second and come back in. Maybe that fixes it. All right, so apparently my mic is a little bit crackly today, so I'm going to go ahead and hop out of the studio for a second and come right back in.
Okay. All right. Start you. Now I'm on the left now. I got the power. I'm just playing. Anyway, let's start this, man. Well, at least myself. You guys already read it, obviously. All right. Chapter 222. 222. October 31st, 2015. Nervous? No, I forget that. This quote unquote timestamp because I forgot what year we were in because after all that skipping and whatnot. But we on Halloween. Nice. All right, 11:45 p.m. And the title is called Speedrun. Okay. So you got Fuko and Andy walking together. I'm guessing we're probably gonna get into that Soul Train or something to jump into quick because we got to prep for this final divine war or whatever Andy said. I'm just excited. Been waiting 4.6 billion years for this moment. Right. Sorry to keep you waiting, you bunch of lugs. Wow, we're back to like how we were. Once again, it's like where we've been saying we're finally back to like season 1 stuff. A lot of callbacks to everything. Yeah, fire. This is sick. Wicked. So that guy is really Fuko's, her boyfriend? Apparently. I like the sound of his heart. I sure would like to spar with him. You mustn't. The heck? Awful quiet. Well, the majority of them only know you as the guy who showed up out of the blue buck naked at the hospital. Was that? Wait, you haven't used Remember yet? Wow, okay. Remember stuff. All right. What kind of self-imposed? I understand how you feel, but if you were in my shoes, you would have done the same thing, right? Actually, I would have used it around Billy. He's a pain in the ass to deal with. What? Hey, you, hurry and sit down. Chill, Gina. Jeez, Gina, the boss's right hand, number 2 woman, is handing over her seat to you after. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. I like the aura that's around the chair too. I like that. It's handing over her seat to you after all. Trick on them. I don't think so though. Are you sure, Gina? Yep, I do know a thing or two about how much you propped up the boss in the past. Go ahead. Pushing them. Wow. Got that seat, the aura. You got that number 2 seat. Okay, a katana? Or did somebody throw the katana at him? Is that Gina? Oh, okay. Okay, it looked like it. Thanks. Then I'll start by introducing myself. I'm the Union's 2nd seat Undead. You can call me Andy. Nice, even though he doing the Andy shit. Got the sword blade to the damn. No pun intended. Nice to meet you. Why'd you stick it there? Boy, these reactions are refreshing. Is this farce over? Oh, hey. Time to announce the results. Rookie. Long time no see. Oppo. Cool. Okay, all the quests, all successful. Can't read that, obviously. A lot of gibberish there, but we get it. Unless anybody in the chat can decipher it, but probably not. I don't know if it's gibberish or another language. It probably is. Who knows? Now granting rewards. Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Capture of Uma Burns since Engine Tella Creed. Okay, I'm glad. So this is like literally like a speed run chapter. but it's good because like we don't need to see them. I mean, since the beginning of the series, there were always Umas that we captured and whatnot before that were like that were that we didn't see anyway. So that's to see that. Never need to see that. Capture Uma Summer, successful participants Shin, Phil, Void, and Yusai. Neutralization of Uma B, successful participants Fuko, Tapi, Shin. Neutralization of Uma language, successful participants Nico, Ichiko, and Fang. Where's Fang? Not a clue. Yeah, where is he at? A location of the reward artifact is here. Okay. What a grand sight. I'm impressed. This is all thanks to not only Miss Joey's and everyone else, but you, Andy. Thank you. And a job well done. We're both in the same boat, yeah? Let's just move past it. Fool, this is where your cock was at. The stage will not be the same going forward. There will be quests in 3 months. From here on out, the entities you've been holding back all this time, the 8 master rules will be waiting. Obviously. So we got justice, change, soul, and we see time. He's on the bottom right. We see war, sick, and luck. Obviously, all of them in there. I like that panel, by the way. You can't defeat them now that you're devoid of injustice. The remaining 8 won't be as easy as beast or language. I like that you pointed that out because not to say that beast is easy, but I've said it. I think it was last week. I think, or maybe the week before that. That like, I do kind of feel like we need to that Suzuka needs to up the ante and make it a little bit more challenging because I feel like we're just kind of on a clean slate. Not saying that that's going to happen, but like I said, like no, they are those ones. They're a little bit more. You know, what I'm saying it's gonna be trouble, which we already knew that because it's sick, prior. But you get my point. You basically have 3 months to the end of the world. Spend that time wisely. So we got 3 months. So we got until December, the end, January 1st, or the New Year. All right. Or December 31st, whichever. I'm assuming probably New Year's, if we're going exactly by the months, I guess. Actually, no, January. Anyway, my math, not math. Anyway, let me continue. That's all the time we have before we fight those guys again. So her ability hasn't manifested yet. I've been observing her for a month and nothing's happened. I'm sure the trigger is Mr. Victor. There's no direct link between Julia and Mr. Victor. Even if Victor were to appear, I'm certain the tragedy wouldn't occur. The most that Julia could gain from using Remember is Miss Louise's combat prowess. Injustice won't form in her. It came true. Mr. Victor's wish to have her forget who she was and lead a normal life without turning into a negator. If I use Remember, then even if she didn't have Injustice. So I think we should fight without relying on Remember or Injustice. I like that because I think that's kind of how I always thought that this was exactly what they were going to do. Like not have her be in the fight. Like don't allow that, especially for Victor's wishes. But we all know it's anime. You already know that she's going to end the fight regardless if she has Injustice or not. We're going to see it. And I think Suzuka knows that we want to see Julia, whichever one out there anyway. So there's that. But if not, that's still fine because it's very poetic and it's exactly what realistically needed to happen for Julia's sake. Once again, it's manga. We want to see her. Quit it with the downer comments, huh? All these guys in front of you are just filler for Injustice. What have you been assembling these guys for the past 200 years? Why do you think they're all here right now? I know why everyone is here. Okay. We are here, want to fight with you. Right, it's all about their own choice. Please give me a little more time for my power to manifest. If it doesn't work, then you can remember I'll stand beside the past me who I idolize so much. And fight alongside everyone else. Okay, thank you. All right, all members, we need to retrieve the reward artifact ASAP. For the next 3 months until the quest starts, 2 people will take shifts sticking to Julia in case Injustice manifests. Oh, that's gonna be. I feel like whoever those 2 people is, somebody about to probably die or something bad. I'm calling it right now. Anyway, the remaining members at whatever time after whoever has that specific shift at the they're cooked. The remaining members will take any intel Andy has and hold an anti-master rule strategy meeting to beep 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 alarm. That's odd. I had it set for 6 in the morning. Now, as I was saying, beep beep beep. Huh? Is it broken? No, that's not it. Time is accelerating. Oh shit. Okay. Whoa. That's a January 29th. We're just on October 31st.
Are you muted? Can y'all hear Avante? Can you hear me? What is going on? Hello? Okay. Avante, stop. Are you looking? I think you're muted.
Wait, I was muted?
For like the last 30 to 40 seconds, yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Where was that? Was it the last page?
I don't know. You said 3 months skipped, and then I think for that last double spread, we didn't hear anything.
Hold on.
Apparently, I had some technical issues on my side with my mic. So...
Oh, no.
StreamYard might be messing up today. Might be...
Yeah, it just...
Soul's doing something to StreamYard.
3 months skipped. Okay, at least it did it at that point. Okay, I thought it was like a few pages. I'm going to say, oh, shit, no.
No, just the last two.
Okay, so basically what I just said... Okay. Let me go back. All right, so basically what I just said was it feels just like in the previous loop in 100 where we're Ragnarok, Revolution to Ragnarok. Yep. It's like, okay, we're speed running. So there goes the chapter title. Boom. Time, huh? January 29th. I was literally just saying that, okay, so like the series is going to end around like January or whatever. They said, nope, this chapter, we're in January. Right now. Like, okay, I ain't bet.
I'm going to be honest, I don't like this development.
Why not?
It's too quick of a pace. We have not had a breather yet. And I don't like the fact that Soul was able to influence Apocalypse skipping forward when that has never been foreshadowed.
I didn't even peep that. I thought he looked different. I wasn't sure how.
I think Soul gave him like an upgrade, and I don't like that. Because he's supposed to be an artifact, not an Uma. So there shouldn't be any sort of like influence on...
Who's to say though? Like, have we ever got that where it's like that shouldn't be a thing? Because I mean, Soul has been introduced not that long ago, so I don't think it's crazy for him to influence artifacts, Umas, and negators. Why not? Because he already did it with
I just don't like it.
He's done it with Umas, yeah, and artifacts. So I mean, that's just who he is. But in terms of the speed, right, like going through that, not having any like time to breathe, I personally kind of like it. It depends, because like I just want us to face more adversity. I've been preaching that for so long.
Here it is.
In every series that I read, and I get that. However, I'm kind of scared because it's like, I'm not scared, well, concerned because like, do I genuinely believe that we can beat them now? Like, we need soul training. We need all the. I don't think that's going to happen. So if I do see them beating one of them, like say two of them, like another two,
Mhm.
then my own. It's kind of like what we were talking about last week. The belief that I have is my shirt is bright as hell. The sun's kind of peeking out through the clouds. Anyway,
Oh,
but anyway, I don't know. Like I just want it to be believable, and I feel like it can go either way. But I do like that we're getting some more adversity at least.
I can understand that. It's just for me with the whole, and I'll just relate it back to what you said about Nico last loop. It was too streamlined. There wasn't enough buildup for it. And that's my issue with this is there wasn't enough buildup to where, oh, the one, let's just call it a chess piece on the chessboard, that being Apocalypse, he has never been influenced before. I understand this is like a development. Like, of course, Soul's going to do whatever he can do to make his side win. Not the biggest fan.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like it because for the longest we've been seeing the Union making their moves. Soul, he's been doing more or less the same, just like right now, kind of did the same thing. But like, we need that from them. We can't just have them be stagnant, and then the war starts, and then they just die. Like, I need to have more of them like in control. I don't feel like the Master Rules are in control as much ever. Really, just Soul a few times with Kurudu.
But they were supposed to be locked up. Like, that was the whole point. They were locked up in the sun, and then they were coming down to the earth now. But I thought it was under the impression that they couldn't get out until the quest started. So for them to like unilaterally speed that up, again, it just might be my own personal preference on it.
I think it just makes sense because, like, yes, I know that they were locked up, Andy, all that shenanigans, but that's the point too. It's like, well, we never really get to truly see them in control. If you want to give us this group of antagonists that you obviously want to make any group of antagonists fire for whatever, whether it's their backstory, whether it's their power, whether it's just their characterization, personality, anything. So it's like to have them just be locked away, which makes sense what Andy did, and I love that still. But like to us, just seeing us prepping to go to war with them, and then we go to war with them, and we didn't get anything in between for their characterization. Really, I wouldn't have liked that. So I like that they're in control at least now. It's kind of like in My Hero, right? You know how it's been like back and forth all the time. It's not just one-sided. I mean, kind of. The villains right now, but it's been back and forth. And right now, I feel like it hasn't really been back and forth too much. And we've been the ones in the driving seat. That's why when we started this chapter, and we have everybody in the Union pretty much just greeting Andy and whatnot. He gets a second seat and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, well, everything's back to normal. And I had a feeling in the back of my mind something's going to happen, or at least it needs to happen right now, because I just think the Master Rules, if there's nothing that they ever do until the war, I think that Tezuka would have dropped the ball on their characters, like, in my opinion. So I'm glad that this.
Well, I had brought up last stream potentially that they could have shown them interacting with humanity in their soul versions before the 3 months was over.
Yeah,
that was a way to give them characterization before the war arc. Welcome, Web Mantis. Welcome, Manuel. Shout out Web Mantis. He has started doing reactions and reviews to Undead Unluck, so check out his YouTube or his Twitch. I think he might dual stream. But he does say in the comments that this might have been Master Rule 7, so the guy that we think is Time. I initially thought that's what it was, and then it showed that Apocalypse had been influenced. I was like, okay, so that must be Soul based on what Andy had said about, oh, you're that afraid of injustice, Soul. And
I still think it's Time.
The same thing.
I still feel like it's Time, though. It's just that Soul took control or influenced Apocalypse, and they had Time do what he did.
So, like, what does Uma Past do? Does Uma Past allow us to go back in the past?
Yeah, either that or anything that's to do with going back to the past for sure, or interacting with the past in some kind of way, like AOT Like you're not
Yeah.
technically time travel, or you kind of are, kind of aren't. Depends how you look at it. Something like that. Stream on Twitch upload. I'm gonna have to. I'm sure your name probably Webmans is on Twitch as well. I did peep your YouTube the last week for the last chapter. I'm gonna give you a follow on Twitch. Gotcha.
Oh yeah, we gotta put on for our community for Undead Unluck. We gotta grow this thing.
I will say though that it's funny that we essentially sped ran twice. I mean, honestly, in the manga, we've kind of spread ran a lot of times, but the pacing has always been good for the most part. Like we sped ran in terms of like literally Fuko with its whole time skipping. We've done that. Getting some of these Umos off screen. We've been doing that since the beginning, like way back. And when it came to like Ragnarok and this, I mean, maybe that's kind of Tezuka's own way of doing like a big, shocking, plot twist type, or like new story development, and it works because I mean, it gets a reaction out of you, like, oh shit, now, right here, Reiner, right here, right now,
right here, right now.
But I see what you mean though. Like it's like, okay, we're doing this like a speed run to this extent, like that.
I just wanted a little bit of a cooldown
manga.
because I know from here to the end, it's going to be balls to the walls. We are just fighting for our existence. It is win or be eradicated. And I just wanted a little bit of a cooldown before that.
I would have liked a cooldown for Andy's sake, just to get him to like chop it up all the union members to see who he is, because they always heard stories. They've seen a fucking burnt clone of him and a whole bunch of other weird Andy finger bullets and all that kind of stuff. But like to actually get to know him for sure. But I do like the tone of it though. Like this is serious. Like even Andy's tone in the chapter, he's different than what he was before. I mean, he's always been like like
he seems a bit more like just kind of go with the flow. Like he's got a positive outlook now, but he seems very much like I'm not the driver. Like Fuko, this is Fuko's show.
Yeah. But he also does seem very like more serious. Some of the dialogue in this chapter, I was like, okay. Even the last chapter, the way that he was sunning, ruined, like he's not playing any games. We need to do what we got to do, like right now. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. I do like that.
What do you think?
Said that the rest were like worse, I guess, than Lon and Beast.
So, I was going to ask, what do you think of the conversation as it relates to Remember? Because I know that we had briefly talked about that last stream. I don't really see a point to using Remember outside of increasing your combat abilities, which, given today's plot line, it might have to happen like now.
Yeah. So the whole Juliet, yeah. At the end of the day, it is her choice. It'll be cool if we see her talking to Juiz, like in her mind, like say if she gets knocked out or something. Kind of like with Gina, not with the Soul Calibur and all that, but like the dream thing again, just to see like how, like, does she want to make this decision? Like, would Juiz influence that decision, or would Juiz is she at peace now? And then Julia just gets to choose whether or not she wants to do it or not, which I think she will.
I think it all comes back to the question of where or what is Victor at the moment? Is he a memory? Does he have his own soul? Is he dormant? Is he separate from Andy at the moment? We just don't know. So depending on where or what Victor is presently, I feel like that is going to influence a ton in this war.
Victor is rebellion now. Hey, the last time we seen him, he was fused with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine.
I mean, technically, we did not see the end of Ragnarok.
True.
All we saw was Andy's forehead flying in space. So he could. Do you think his soul is in Rebellion now? Similar to how Blood and Shadow are seemingly integrated with Ruin.
Could be. Because like, I mean, I know this is probably an easy answer, but like just the fact that we've seen Andy's like his forehead just kind of just drifting in space, that is a little interesting. Like why that? Like I could easily just think Victor somehow like split off of him.
Yeah.
Like during that explosion or during the world being destroyed. So with his heart, we still need heart. Interesting. What? Where is heart? Because like now it looks like we don't have time to look for heart. So heart gotta be.
Well, that was another thing.
somebody.
So the reward artifact for the last set of quests, if you this is going back quite some time. So if you remember, for the location tracking of, I want to say, was it Unseen or was it on Repair? He had a marker on the globe that Apocalypse had created, but if I remember correctly, it was only up until the next set of quests started. So if we're like a day away, we only have a day to go look for this artifact.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, we're gonna get some more Victor cookage. Nah, I need to see him split off. I always say this for like every goddamn show in the manga. I need a double lariat. Victor and Andy, a double lariat. Somebody, hey man, blood lariat.
So since we're kind of since we're kind of beating around the bush, let me sort of set up kind of the matchups that we anticipate.
Okay.
Okay, so I will try to set up a quick tier list, guys. So just give me like 1 second, and then we will try to do this off the cuff.
I saw just a random thing. Well, I don't want to spoil people, so I'll just, once we come back, I'll just mention that you'll get what I'm putting down.
Oh, I'm still listening. Like, what are we talking about?
So I was thinking about like with War. You know, we already think like Billy, Creed, Tella. I'm thinking even like maybe Fang. Just y'all the warriors, soldiers, like fighters, like, you know, maybe even Void. I don't know. I'm just thinking this different stuff. But like basically I was thinking about like with Demon Slayer, I'm just gonna say Kokushibo. Like I think we're gonna get something like that against War. Just badassery all overall. Like those 4 or 5 that I named against War, just some craziness. I can see something like that happen.
All right, so soul change.
It's really hard to call. Like there's some characters that's like really easy that we can think about, but some of them, like more of the support ones, who knows? Double lariat would be wicked sick, yeah. I need it.
Okay, here was a thought I had while I'm still making this tier list. What if Fang is already dead?
Oh, because it's not there. That is interesting that they even pointed that out. Like, it's funny because I kind of like laughed at it, but it didn't really sound like a joke. I don't know how to explain it. It didn't sound. I don't know.
it didn't sound like the normal type of conversation that they have about him.
Yeah. Usually you might see like a little drawing of him in the sky or some shit, like something like that or something, but or like his face like in a little chibi form, something like that. You would think, but that is interesting. I don't think he's dead though, but I definitely think I don't know, man. Maybe that's just his thing. He just comes in. That's like literally just his. That's like a gag for him. He just comes out of nowhere and it just helps us. I gotta say though, if I were to make a tier list of my favorite fighters in anime, I think Fang is genuinely up there somewhere.
Nice.
He's all about it. He's all about fighting, and he prevails a lot of times. I rock with that. I hate because that's literally a whole meme in itself. When like the villains, whenever a villain becomes like a friend, an ally of the MC, they usually like get nerfed, but he doesn't really get nerfed. I'd even argue he gets a little better.
All right, so who else is on the team that's not in here? Sorry, guys, I wasn't. I wasn't initially planning on doing a tier list today, so this is literally like all off the cuff. So just bear with me for a sec. All right, this will have to do for now. Let's do this.
Ooh. Yeah, this war's gonna be absolutely insane, and we still got the fucking gods.
Do you think that, like, how should I put this? Do you think we're kind of underselling what the final battle will look like between us and Sun? Because I do not think we are going to get out of this semi-final fight without any scars.
So like kind of our conversation last time, that was a fear that we had.
Yeah.
I feel a little different now. That's why I said I like this development of the speed run, because now it's like we can't train for no soul stuff like that right now. We can probably do something similar to like what Top did, or Ishin, something like that against Beast or Fuko rather too. But I don't fear it no more. I think it's going to be pretty bad. We're gonna lose people.
So how do you feel about that then? If this is the last like loop, do you feel like now if we were just to like kill a whole bunch of characters, would everything have been for naught?
No, I don't think we're gonna kill a whole bunch of characters. I still don't think that's fine. Out of all those characters right there, I still think 7 at most.
Okay.
Or 6. Out of the 25, yeah, about around that much, I'd say. So at least 19 of them will still be alive. I just think that like it's one of those things where this is like out of a lot of shonen action like war arcs, this is one of the ones that I'm like, there's no way anybody can be left unscathed to any kind of degree. Because we've already seen what happened in 100. Now we have the Master Rules and God. And we don't even have the soul training for everybody. So, like, nah. If it was relatively unscathed and nobody dies, I'm usually not the type of person that would be like, oh, people just have to die. But like, if there's like presidents, if you give me that like feeling before in the manga,
yeah,
where I'm like, this is the stage where like it just makes sense, and you don't do it, then I'm like, okay, nah, this is a huge war going on. This is a war for the goddamn existence, really. It really is. It's always been like that. So
Okay, guys. So as you can see on the screen, we're gonna do a quick and dirty type of. It's not really a tier list, but more so of a matchup prediction between the master rules, the superior 8 now, and the members of our union. You might notice a couple of things. First of all, Ruin here. Secondly, I might have missed one or two people, so just bear with me. I'll change it if needed. But we don't really have to start anywhere in particular. So I guess I'll just start. We'll save Soul for later. I'll start with Change. Who do you think's going to go up against Change?
Off rip Gina.
I was thinking Gina, Sean.
Yeah. Yep. Gina. Oh no. She's gonna kill her boyfriend. No. 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 Not this way. No, that Gina, that whole chapter when she turns up, that's gonna be crazy. She's about to do something that we never even thought of. But yeah, Gina, Sean. Who else? Shikara, maybe top against Change. I feel like top is gonna go against time. I don't know. I'm thinking of speed and time. I don't know.
Oh no, 100%. It's gonna be like you're too fast to even have that guy look at the pocket watch.
Man.
So that's what I was thinking. It's gonna be like a photo finish. So 100% top has to go against time.
Oh, and Chikara.
That is my headcanon. Oh yeah, the boys.
Anything with time, movement, space and time, literally. Yeah. But yeah, for Change, I don't know who else, man. And I guess maybe Ishin if you want to pair her up again for top. But I kind of feel like there might be like some support characters that might help just on the battlefield like a few times. So I think she would, because we're unbreakable. I think we kind of.
That's another sort of limitation to this tier list is that we're only going to be able to put people there once.
Right.
For now.
Unless we make like another. You don't have to though. I was gonna say like another one where you say something like. You don't have to. We'll just probably just talk about it at the end.
Yeah, we can keep it as is. War is going to be Billy. It's going to be Creed.
Yep.
And going to be Tella. Like that's already been well established.
I'm gonna say, like I said, I'm gonna say Fang and Shin as well, because I think that
versus...
War is gonna have like an army in War. Because I think War is gonna like have like a whole army, so it's gonna be like a lot of fighting, like whatever army he creates or whatever. And
I was thinking of a different way. I was thinking that Fang and Shen and maybe Mui, they might go up against Death, given the whole he's already died and it made him stronger situation with language.
I don't know. For 7 instead of time might be Uma Fade, so Fang would fight him.
Oh, Uma Fade? Yeah, that's why I put it in like quotation marks. I thought I remember them talking about the rules being added at like the beginning of the world, and I thought they said time. Yeah, and I thought that like confirmed it was time, but I don't think it has actually been confirmed to be time for him.
Billy, move. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Billy and Chikara, that does make sense actually, because of the whole thing of him wanting to learn how to see. differently. So if that's the case, maybe top. Well, this is kind of tough. Never mind. I don't know. I was thinking about like Creed in the last loop, and it'd just be kind of cool to see him and Top and Chikara,
Yeah.
especially if Chikara's with Billy. Maybe that could work with War. And then at that point, then you could probably put Fang with Time. Then if he is Fade, if he is Uma Fade, which is pretty likely to be honest, since we've seen already two of them have like a negator for their ability to change in War. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, kind of War. So
this next, I'm gonna just move one character, and there's a reason for this.
oh yeah, easy.
Because of the music motifs.
Yeah. You know what though? Maybe Top. Honestly, War probably might end up going against a lot of them because now that I think about it, if you do put Top and Chikara there, then Nishin can be there too, and Nishin is literally armor. So if you go into War, you're gonna need armed stuff, armed vehicles, armed weaponry.
So if
Artillery.
we put all 6 of them in War, who do you think is going up against Uma Time then?
Kind of like what Alvis said, maybe Fang at that point,
Okay.
since that might be like his negator essentially. All right, we can keep moving them too at the end. You know, when we talk to chat and think over some of them again.
So I do think that Shen and then Mui, they
Yeah.
have some pretty good dynamics, so we'll put them there.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool too. Like the whole time motif in general, because of Fang and what he, his whole thing of like, essentially just like living, like immortal, in a way, and the whole thing about like passing the torch to the next generation, time stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there you can do.
Okay. Okay, so I do think this is asking a lot. I do think this has to happen.
Yeah.
And do I add anyone else there though? That is the question.
I kind of want to just say Andy. But
so Andy obviously, Andy and Fuko, they'll be in
everywhere.
multiple fights.
Yeah. So I get why you did.
Is there any other battle that you think maybe Ichiko and Nico could go up against? I was thinking maybe Sick.
Maybe.
But then again, because of the fact that we know
Sick orb stuff, I don't understand the orbs.
I'm gonna put these two characters here because we know that with
for sure.
Unrepair, that is the only way that Sick has been injured so far.
Right. You know what? I would say put Void with Change. Because I'm just thinking like him and Gina, like they've been, those are the two characters that died in the last loop, and they're kind of like paired together in terms of like the Astro doll. No, not the Astro. Yeah, the Astro doll that Nico made.
Oh, that Nico created? Okay.
Yeah, and then in this loop, they're the third and second.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you can put him there.
And he does wear the robot suit, so. Okay.
Bunny said Bunny is sick too. I feel like Bunny.
Like if what is?
Does. I don't even know if she's.
So this is what, and like I will move this if you want me to, but this is what I was thinking for Bax. I was thinking that these 3 would go up against Uma Justice, Yusai with the sword, Bax to keep whatever is inside the armor, and then Juiz with the fencing. So it's just strictly sword fighting for
sword
Uma
fighting
Justice.
and tug of war.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that much thought into that. I just immediately thought Juiz, Julia, well, both same. And I don't know. I mean, like, what's funny though? Yusai is extremely diable there. Like,
Oh
I can
yeah.
see her sacrificing herself so that
Oh
Juiz can get
yes.
the final. I like that. I can see the whole thing. Oh my god. Maybe even trying to protect Bunny because she's just a little girl. Oh man, and she was a mother in the last loop. Oh no, oh no. And then she probably said, "I always wanted a daughter." I don't know.
Oh, stop it! This
wanted
headcanon's
a
going
child.
crazy.
Oh no.
And I've always wanted a mom because she was an orphan.
Oh man.
Oh god. Okay, let's see. So next up, gotta put Fuko there.
Yep.
At the very least.
Guess, yeah. Ruin's the
And
best.
yep.
Unhealthy for sick. Yeah, if
Lucy's in this loop, we shall see. I'll put her there for now because she was in this loop. Or she was in this list, I should clarify.
No, Phil is interesting. He can literally go anywhere. I really truthfully feel like he's going to have an extremely huge moment where he's just going to use hella artifacts, even some of the 3 sacred ones. And you could definitely put him in war too, but war, I don't know. We gotta.
If we need 6 of the Union to go against war,
put it like this though. I don't think that these matches are all. Obviously, we know that people are gonna, go to other fights. So, with that being said, I do think that war might there might be like 2 groups fighting 2 Umas, so like war and somebody else at the same time. So I just don't know who. Maybe Time. Like Time and War are both I guess around the same area, just about. And you see people kind of switch between the 2. But then again, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, we have 25 members. At least one of these definitely should have like 5, right? Like 5, 6.
Yeah, and we might not fight all of them at once. I'm going to put Tatiana with Fuko, though, because Fuko's whole thing is she causes luck to those that she touches, unluck to those that she touches. So if luck has a similar dynamic, if she cannot touch Tatiana, I feel like that's a good, buffer for her.
Right. That works.
Are we giving Ruin and Andy the team up versus Death?
Yep.
All right, I like it. Engine's like odd man out, man. I don't know, where would you go? Do you think any of these master rules, the Superior 8, do you think any of them have fire capabilities in one of their updated?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't. If it's not maybe Soul, if he has some kind of sun, pseudo sun power.
Mm-hmm.
If not him, then
I was thinking maybe War.
It's War, yeah, but
for combustion, rockets. If he's able to stop them from firing.
You know what? Probably have to throw him in War.
But I will also mention that Juiz had a flaming sword as Unjustice last loop.
So you're thinking
so Justice, I could see. Yes. I could also see him as kind of like a horseman of the apocalypse, like a centaur, or what do they call it? A headless horseman, a Dullahan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could see him going up against Justice as well.
That makes sense. Another thing I like about Undead is that these matchups can always be different because we've seen it so many times. We've seen characters in most manga, which characters are going to get teamed up against, whoever. For example, we had Top and Ishin and Fuko against Beast. It is another manga I would never predict that kind of matchup. obviously we know given the quest and who's tasked to do what that's the thing in here and that's the point. So all of this shit can be completely wrong aside from like some of the obvious characters, but that's the fun in it because it can go anyway.
So you think war or justice? Are we putting 7 negators versus war?
You know what, should we just make another role that says like I don't know what to call it, but like where there's
support
people
group?
Yeah, support group. Because if that's the case, I'm thinking, or to just call it like I don't know, like versatile or something. Because like I'm thinking Phil is somebody that's going to be everywhere, pretty much helping out as a support. And then Andy Fuko, we know that they're going to be in different locations off rip, and maybe Isheen, same thing. She'll probably be in multiple places helping out. So it could be, but definitely Phil, definitely in support. Yeah, it'll be a literal war arc after all for sure. I do like
So
what
I guess
Undead.
really,
I don't think it has a big. I mean, I'm sure it probably kind of has a big power scalar community, but at the same time, you don't need the power scale in this series because it's all about matchups. Because some people be like, "Oh, look at all those people against war. That means war is strongest." No, that doesn't. No, doesn't necessarily mean that. Doesn't have to.
so what are we thinking for engine? We thinking 7 in war, or are we thinking he might go with like justice?
I'm low key thinking like I almost wanted to say support.
Okay.
Like just whenever, because he kind of was support in Ragnarok as well, like in terms of taking that heat, or yeah. So I don't.
I mean, we'll put you there.
yeah.
All right. Is
That's
there
actually the biggest-
anyone that you want to change? Obviously, guys, a little bit restricted in terms of this tier list. We can't put multiple people in multiple spots. Obviously, Fuko or Andy and or Ruin will have multiple potential battles that they're in. But if we can only get one, I feel like this is a pretty good list.
If I were to move, I would say I don't know when we'll be in there for. Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that. That was literally in the 70s when we first started this loop. Damn. With Soul, I definitely think there should be more there. But I almost want to say
Who do we put in there?
just because she was influenced, but like I understand the whole sick like music thing, so I guess she could stay there. But like,
do you feel like she would be able to fight back because she was the first instance of being manipulated with her soul? And especially now that we're not really getting like a soul training arc.
I don't know. Honestly, like it really is hard when it comes to these matchups. There's like maybe 2 of them that I feel like, okay, yeah, absolutely. 2 of these Master Rule against Negator matchups. I'll say change. I 100% think that those 3 would definitely be in there. 100%. Def as well with Andy and Ruin, definitely can see that. War, 100%. The first 3.
Yeah, I feel like Ishin, Top, and Chikara all kind of have to be together.
Right. In a way, you could chalk up them in like support too, like all of them.
Ishin definitely. Top,
I'll say Top because he can get to places quick, and like.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then Chikara because I mean we've always seen him be in support for like yeah.
Here's what I'll do. I will put Ishin in support. Put top. See, I really loved the whole top versus time, if that is Uma time dynamic.
Mhm.
But I understand why we put them there to begin with.
See now when I look at it, it's like I'm like, okay. I can definitely see at least two of these in each category for sure.
Hell, I even like what you said about Kururu. I'm gonna move her up.
Plus, I'll give her a lot more shine that we've been wanting. Like just the fact that this is somebody that's been influenced by Soul and like having
And
her
like
fight
the
against
head of
yeah.
the superior roles.
Plus, you wouldn't think somebody like her would even want to do some shit like that, but she's like, nah, let me help out with this. Hmm.
So which of these matchups do you most want to see?
That I most want to see. Let's see on the narrative. Well, okay, different. Change just because I know it's gonna be emotional.
Yep.
Or just because I mean that's like one of the first ones that we called it immediately. It would just be cool to see that fucking action. um,
For
in
me,
terms of
it's the
something that
Justice matchup. If that
I was
goes
about to
how I
say, that's
think
a
it's going to
pretty
go,
unique one. Yeah, Stick is kind of straightforward. I can see how that goes.
it's almost like a rematch at this point.
Andy and Rowan is going to be really good. Characterization for Rowan.
And do you think we're going to get all these matchups, or do you think that maybe they'll just, kind of be off to the side, or maybe pick their time to join the fight? Like I can see change starting the fight immediately, but I don't see that for all of them. Like change, war, I could see
can go either
Sick,
way.
maybe.
Yeah, it's for definitely Sick. He wanted to get his get back. He's like, man, they call me sorry, man. He said I was garbage.
Cut me in half.
I gotta, man. Also, a lot of these fights are going to have that same effect where, like, when Fang popped up for the Nico fight, I think all of these fights are going to have that kind of thing, kind of like, because they have good transportation, they can get places fast, they have people that can do that. So I think it's just kind of going to be all around people going to different battlefields for, different things. You have certain communications, you have weapons that need to be delivered to different locations. It's really going to be a war, man. But so do you think that these matchups are going to be, do you think that all of them are going to start this way, or do you think that all of them will finish that way?
What do you mean?
So, like, do you think that these matchups are like this is how the matchups are going to start? Like, literally all of these are going to start with these characters? Or do you think they're more so going to end with them? Like, what are you more certain is going to happen? Like, this is the end matchups or the beginning?
No, I think this will be the beginning, and then they'll have, these support characters come in through portals. These support characters come in through move. I'm distinguishing, of course, between Tella and
what? Here. Shouldn't Nico technically be in support too? Like, I understand that we're trying to like match up with Soul, like just based off of things like with Ichigo and her Soul and just matching her and Nico up, but like technically, Nico's going to kind of be everywhere too, I guess. But not everywhere, but like he's going to be the literal scientist.
I can see that, but I feel like there is some synergy between him and his wife now that will be necessary to hold up against what Soul is capable of. I think Soul's going to be one of the last battles. So at this point, we could have anyone that's surviving join the fight as long as they're strong enough. But this is like if all these fights happened right now.
Right. Hmm. I really like the time one too. That's a good one. Very poetic.
Yeah, narratively speaking, that might be the one that's like the most peak. That are sick. That
Really?
was three characters' entire reason for being.
Oh, I see. What you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is our list, guys. Kind of an impromptu tier list ranking of what we anticipate, or at least guess what the fights will be to start. But Tozuka, he keeps us on our heels. He's always doing unorthodox type of stuff, so we could be entirely off base with everything we said this stream.
Right. I do like though. I feel like in all of these that there's at least one character that might that a master rule might like relate to or have some kind of philosophical different like perspective. Aside from Death, I feel like Death on the surface you would think that oh she's kind of not necessarily like an aggressor, but she's like more neutral because I mean she's deaf is something that happens to everybody. But I feel like it's mostly for ruin's sake. That would be like for all the other match rules. I think that we're gonna get something from them for the most part, based off of the character with who's matched up against them on our side. So like say for example, I think like with Luck for example, I can see something definitely with Luck, like with Fuko and her uh relating in some way.
Do you think any of these interactions will be more so intellectual based? Do you think there's going to be like a debate between anybody?
Oh, that's a good
Or do you think it's all going to be fights? I could see Luck and Fuko having a dynamic conversation.
Oh, for sure. 100%. If there's any like debate,
Change, no. War, no.
yeah, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Those are like the only two where we just gotta kill them. It's like there's no talking, like, no.
There could be a really interesting dynamic between Death and Ruin / Andy. I can see, but I also kind of want her to be just intimidating. The embodiment of death as we traditionally think of her.
Right. You know something else? I do think that for Billy and Creed and Taylor, since they are like war vets, I do think that there's something good. Like I think that like say Billy just saying war, like how he like it's gonna remind him of like the figureheads that make them go to war. Like they don't care about their men dying because I think war is gonna have his little army or whatever army of rules. Oh, that's something I didn't think about that. When I said army, I just saw something that he would create like his own little battalion, but
Planes and
he might actually use like rules.
Oh, do you think he could potentially take over via some soul powers? Because they do have some soul powers. They're fighters, the soldiers of Creed.
Right. I think Burn is gonna. I think they're gonna try to. Well, I know that we captured Burn, but I think they're gonna try to do something to influence Burn. And if it is War that does it, because I think he's gonna like roll over some of these, because you know he's the War, like he's War. He's gonna make these rules fight. So I think he's gonna do that to Burn. And we know that Billy had Burn before the last loop, so I think there's something you can do there. That'll be pretty cool.
You think Spring will finally make its return?
For sure. For sure. And I'll say Spring is
with who? With Fuko?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
And Luck is more so of a child than anyone else in the Superior 8. The only one I can think of is maybe Uma Justice because they're a little bit shorter of stature. But Luck, visually speaking, seems to be the youngest. You want to play some games? Luck? You want to play a game of chance? We talked about her maybe being like a casino. Ooh, there's some great interactions there I can see with Spring coming back.
You know what? I think Justice might be the one that you get a debate from. Just because off rip, you look at Justice, you don't think that Justice will have like much dialogue. But
And if you
then
look
you're
at
like,
those three
well,
characters, you could get the viewpoint of a child, you could get the viewpoint of an older woman if Yusai gets her memories, and you can get the viewpoint of an adult who's had all of this life of experience in Juiz.
yeah. And I would just really want to see Juiz and just that back and forth would be fire. Honestly,
What do you think
man,
of the mask?
you know what's funny? I don't know. I always just thought it looked like just darkness, like just shadow. That's the only thing I could think of. I don't know exactly what would be under the mask. Shit, there might
I'm
not be
thinking
nothing
it might
under
be
that, but I think
a
there is.
blind woman.
Oh,
The one
you're
that holds
spitting.
the scales of
You're
justice.
spitting. Lady Justice, you're spitting. Blind, you're spitting. Ooh. Matter of fact, like I said, if some of these math rules are somewhat paired up together in a way, or like banded together and they're fighting against us, you could have Justice and War be I think that really coincides with each
Together.
other, Justice and War. Yeah.
I was thinking Death and Luck could be a tag team since they're always kind of hanging out with one another.
And then you can have you can even have Billy say something like, "Oh, you're blind too? Oh, shit. Okay." Well, me and Juiz, we had debates in the past about. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good dynamics everywhere. Aside from change, she's just gonna crash out. That's all. Or maybe I can see if every mass rule has some kind of I don't want to say redeeming quality, but something where they can relate to the characters, or they can get their understanding, or they have any regrets or something. I could definitely see her being jealous of Gina.
Jealous of Gina? Why do you say that? I want to hear more.
It's just typical, that kind of character that's seems like she has so much beef with Gina just because that's her quote unquote vessel, or her, So I think that I don't know, jealous that she can live a life of
change.
Yeah, exactly. And she's literally changed, but she can't.
She
I
can't.
think
She's locked in this form.
Irony. Yeah, there's some irony going on there. And then with Shin, maybe she want a man's. So, it could go that way. Start flirting with Void. You're like, I don't know. I'm conflicted. Void literally gonna say, I punched a girl before. We ain't asked you all that.
All right, Katy Perry. And I liked it. All right, guys, we are just kind of shooting the breeze here, just making not so funny jokes. Is there anything else about the chapter or about our predictions for these fights that you want us to talk about before we get out of here?
And I'm fine if we're completely wrong too. We're not completely wrong. Some of these I do want, but if we're 90% wrong, I do not care, because honestly, with matchups in the series, it can go either way.
Yeah, Tozuka has not disappointed, and even at the introduction of these rules, if Move joins the team, Burn doesn't join the team, Spring joins the team, so on and so forth. There's just so much more we can do with all of the characters. Not to talk about Rebellion, not to talk about Heart, not to talk about Aegis. So much.
Everyone's gonna have this Harry Osborn moment in Spider-Man 3 when he comes in to help Andy while he's getting fucked up by the Grim Reaper. and then dies.
You can't do this to me.
Just to me. I quote that movie every other day.
I love William Dafoe, man. He's the best.
He's goated, bro. He is so goated.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining today. I know a little bit different type of tier list than we're used to, but we had fun. Hopefully you guys had fun too. If you did, do us a favor, like the stream. Try to leave a comment either in the live stream chat if you're here before we end, or leave a comment on the video. Just gets more people hopefully involved with this series as we get closer and closer to the winter/summer special this upcoming January. But anything else, Fonte, you want to say before we get out of here?
Now that you mentioned it, just briefly. So if we do get like War and Justice, like kind of teaming up together, that'd be cool. That might coincide with the winter special coming in the winter.
Oh,
manga and anime kind of overlap. That would be pretty cool to see.
Juiz and Billy. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. But I built this unit.
You can't do this to me. Gina, if she actually had any common sense and didn't give up her seat to Andy, she was just ousted, you can't do this to me.
Oh man. But you guys know the drill, man. A lot of content coming into this fall time, so it's the end of the year, and we will get a lot of stuff out, in due time. It's YouTube, man. Editing time, all that, a lot of stuff, life, you know what it is. But
it's happening.
Going into the new year, though, it's gonna be great. A lot of stuff will probably be out by then. I hope so. I think
it should be.
I can say so. So stay tuned for all that stuff. See you guys in the next stream video, wherever you are, wherever you're watching in. Peace.
Peace.